invited to Lady Astor's for lunch on a Sunday. A classically prudent Scot, he knew it would tax the family budget, but it seemed important to him to own a well-cut, well-made suit, a navy blue blazer with gold buttons. Later, my father studied mathematical physics at Princeton and took up his father's profession, teaching, in his case, at a Vancouver high school. One of his brightest students was Kathleen Bernard, and in 1940, when he was 31 and she was just 19, they got married. Looking back at this May-December marriage, I wonder if it paved the way for my own wedding to a man who was 2 years older than my mother. My father was a big, imposing fellow, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Jimmy Sinclair was gruff on the outside, but he was also a good man, fair and sweet. And he was stern with my sisters and me only when we dared cross our mother or disrespected her. Then came the wrath of God. He doted on my mother and loved her so much. I never heard a cross word between them. Such total harmony was little use as a role model for my own marriage. I never heard my parents fight and did not know that it was possible for a wife to quarrel or argue with her husband. Suppression of anger, I believed, was how to cope. My father, for all his intelligence, was also a simple man with simple tastes. He would come down to breakfast wearing a green business suit, a blue tie, and one sock colored navy, the other brown. "Oh, Daddy, look at you," my sisters would all yell, imploring him to wear clothes that matched. He didn't care. He always said, "I dress to keep warm and I eat to fuel my body." Years later, he dined one Christmas with Pierre and me at 24 Sussex Drive, where staff had opened a Chateau Latour from the 1940s, an extraordinary bottle of wine, to honor his presence. "Don't waste the good stuff on me," he told them, and asked for some cooking wine from the kitchen. In his political thinking, he was a left-leaning liberal. He was born into the Presbyterian Church, but never attended services. "Too harsh," he said, of that brand of Protestantism. My mother was outstandingly beautiful. Tall, with hazel eyes and raven hair, Kathleen had the finest, most beautiful skin, which turned bronze in the sun, thanks to the Malaysian blood that coursed through her. Her great-great-great-great-grandfather, William Farquhar, was a Scottish-born British officer in the East India Company who played a pivotal role in the founding of Singapore in the early 19th century. After the British lost both Java and the tiny Malaysian Sultanate of Malacca to the Dutch, General Farquhar set out to find a new port, and together with Sir Stamford Raffles, Lieutenant Governor of Java, founded Singapore. But the two men had a falling out over the way Singapore was to be settled. Sir Stamford abhorred gambling, cockfighting, and the notion of indentured servants, and he wanted the waterfront preserved for government buildings and residences. The more easy-going Farquhar, who spoke Malaccan and who had great respect for the Malaysian culture, knew that local people weren't about to abandon all their bad habits overnight, and he reserved the waterfront for the merchants. When Raffles returned after several years away and saw that his orders had been ignored, he dismissed Farquhar. On the day William left, in 1823, the roads were so densely packed with people wanting to say goodbye that it took him 3 hours to reach his boat. He left behind Antoinette Clement, his companion of some 25 years, and their 5 children, settled on a rubber plantation. There was no thought of her joining him. She would have found the Scottish climate and the imperialist thinking of the day equally unwelcoming. Once back in Scotland, William Farquhar married a new wife. While still in Singapore, between 1819 and 1823, my ancestor commissioned various Chinese artists to illustrate local plants, mammals, birds, fish, and insects found in Malacca and Singapore. Some 477 watercolors were completed, and several copies of the original paintings now hang on the walls of my Montreal condominium. My mother then could trace her line back to a country.